Resident Evil is finally confirmed to be real. We all knew it was real. We knew we were going to get another one, but now we actually have it. No more leaks, no more guesswork. Capcom dropped the official trailer for Resident Evil 9 Requiem at Summer Game Fest, and they did it in a trolling fashion. It's pretty funny, but it was the end of the night, and we got the trailer. There's a lot to unpack here. We're talking returning legacy elements here, a new protagonist with deep, deep series ties, and possibly one of the most disturbing monster designs in a while. There's also something going on with the hooded guy that might tie into one of the oldest Resident Evil theories out there. We're going to talk about that a little later in the video, so stick around. Welcome to the channel, everybody. Jimmy or Chaos. Today we're going to fully break down and have some real talk about the Resident Evil 9 trailer. So drop a like, make sure you're subscribed, turn on those notifications. And before we break down the trailer itself, here's what we know from Capcom's press info. Resident Evil 9 is officially titled Requiem. Now, it's a single-player survival horror game, cinematic action second, right? Horror game first, cinematic action second. And the director is Koshi Nakanishi, the same guy who directed Resident Evil 7. So fully expect the horror side to be taken very seriously. It's coming February 27th, 2026, and will be playable at Gamescom this August. That likely means we won't see a public demo until later, probably, I would say, December or January. If Capcom follows their usual timeline like they did with the RE4 remake, that's probably how this is going to go down. So now, let's talk about the trailer. Grace Ashcroft. Timeline clues. The trailer opens with our new lead character, Grace, an FBI agent investigating a string of bizarre murders. Now, longtime Resident Evil fans might have spotted and recognized the last name. Alyssa Ashcroft was a playable character in the Resident Evil Outbreak games. And that connection is not random, of course. Grace is Alyssa's daughter. Now, the timeline puts this game after Resident Evil Village, and based on the clues from RE7, Alyssa was alive in 2016. The trailer even says she was killed 8 years ago. So this story likely takes place, I would say, around 2024 to 2026. Now, Grace's investigation leads her to the Wynwood Hotel, which is the same place where her mother was killed. It's got that classic RE vibe. Remote location, weird murders, something not right under the surface. It all feels really good so far. Now, the trailer suggests there will be playable flashbacks, including and involving Alyssa. I would highly, highly say that's going to happen. I want you to think back to RE7 with Mia's VHS tapes. Same idea, same premise. Alyssa's seen wandering the hotel, investigating something big right before her death. We then see Grace later in the trailer, strapped to a table, absolutely terrified, surrounded by surgeons. Not zombies, surgeons. Not monsters. People. I mean, looks like some kind of experimental procedure was done to her. She's bandaged, and she is clearly freaking out and in pain. I mean, the shift to psychological and body horror here lines up with Nakanishi's style from RE7, and honestly, feels like Capcom's leaning more into the grounded horror again rather than the supernatural weirdness, which I am 100% for. Now, let's talk about the person in the trailer everybody's focused on. The hooded figure. Hooded man, I guess, maybe, I don't know. He appears multiple times. First in the flashback, potentially as Alyssa's killer, then later on in what seems and looks like a cult-like scene. There's even one line in particular from a man in a chair, the chosen Ashcroft. Now, that's not random. He clearly believes Grace, or her bloodline, is tied to something way bigger. Now, here's where the theory comes flying in. A lot of fans are wondering if this guy could actually be Oswell E. Spencer. I know, on paper, that's a stretch. Spencer died in Resident Evil 5's DLC by the hands of Wesker, but if you've played Shadows of Rose from RE8, you know, well, there's something happening there. The Mega stores consciences like a hive mind, and that is how Miranda and even Ethan appeared after death. So if Spencer was connected to it, maybe he's back. Not physically, but through someone else, and that's a huge maybe, I know, but it does track with some of the themes here. Control, legacy, obsession, genetics, all of it. Now, if he came back in somebody else's body, did he pick somebody that looked like him? I don't know. I know it's a very big stretch, but that is the biggest theory going around right now, that it could be Spencer. You guys, if you have another theory of who else the hooded figure could be, or the guy sitting in the chair, definitely let me know in the comment section. I read every single comment on every single video. Now, let's keep going. The trailer hits us with a curveball. Raccoon City, which was the most exciting part of the trailer for me. We see post-nuke ruins. We see streets falling apart, and this is key. A series of voiceovers sounds like returning characters. One voice sounds older. Could be Leon. One sounds more emotional. Some think it could possibly be Jill. And then there's one that sounds like a little girl, possibly another flashback to Grace as a child, or even someone like Sherry Birkin. The inclusion of Raccoon City matters big time. You don't return to ground zero where it all began unless Capcom is ready to revisit the series' core themes. That also opens the door for legacy characters to absolutely show up. Leon, Jill, Claire, whether they're playable or just important to the plot or flashbacks, it seems like we're not going to be just sticking with Grace for this one. I would love if they gave us flashbacks and we got to like go back through RE1 or RE2 or little bits of it. That would be such a nostalgia pull for me. It really, really would. I am truly excited that we are going to, I think, revisit Raccoon City. There's no way we're not, right? Then we also got a couple solid horror moments later in the trailer. One of them which looks like a version of the Suspended, which is a zombie mid-transformation into a licker. This was originally from the Outbreak games, and seeing it in the RE engine, it's pretty nasty. It's actually pretty nasty in the best way. We also see a woman walking through a medical wing. Some people think she looks like Alex Wesker, which possible, nothing confirmed, but who knows? And then there's a final monster reveal. Could be another Suspended, could be something brand new. What's clear here is they are digging into lesser known bioforms once again. And if we're getting throwbacks to Outbreak and we're getting throwbacks to the OG Resident Evil games, we might even get new versions of older monsters that never made it into the mainline games. So what does all of this point to? Well, Grace Ashcroft is front and center, of course, but that family legacy angle means that this could be personal in a way that we haven't really seen since Ethan in RE7. To me, the return to Raccoon City all but confirms we are going to be dealing with the past head on. Now, whether that hooded man is Spencer, whether he's someone else, he clearly knows who Grace is and why she matters, which means he knows who her mom is, which means he could be connected to her murder, or he could have been the one to murder her. But you know how Resident Evil works. There's going to be twists and turns. They're going to make us think something, dangle a carrot out there, and then they're going to flip it on us. Now, these flashbacks, maybe they give us time with Alyssa. Maybe even connect the Outbreak timeline back into the core Resident Evil narrative. Maybe we get flashbacks from legacy characters like Leon or Jill. Who knows? Honestly, it could be anything. And the word Requiem means remembrance. So remember that, okay? The whole thing feels like Capcom is reflecting on the series' history, and they're going to tie old threads together while they start something new. I don't think that's just smart. I think it's overdue, and I think it's absolutely brilliant. There you go. Let me know what stood out for you guys the most in the trailer. Was it the return to Raccoon City, which it was for me? Was it Grace's connection to Alyssa, or whatever that creature was climbing down the wall? I appreciate you guys. I will be covering the Gamescom hands-on when it drops, and any new trailers or any leaks come out, I'll make a video for you guys. I hope you have a great day. See you soon.